Tron ARES. Is this movie as bad as everyone says? Now, before I answer that, let me just call out the director of this movie, Joachim Roning, as an individual who should never direct a sci-fi movie ever again. Now, his work on this film was so pedestrian, it literally made me angry watching it. A director is supposed to stamp the film with his or her vision. Now, that's what Ridley Scott does, for example. And he can direct sci-fi, which isn't easy because it's a fantasy environment that's made convincingly real on screen. Not easy to do. Now, Tron ARES is a sequel to earlier Tron movies starring Jeff Bridges as a video game developer who enters the world of his video game and meets the players. They do battle against each other with video game weapons, etc. Now, I didn't watch the earlier movies, so I can't tell you more than that, but in this movie, the video game soldiers are AIs that the evil Dillinger Systems Corporation wants to 3D print in the real world. But I wasn't convinced by the visual effects. Now, for example, the military AIs are outfitted just like the video game soldiers from the first Tron movie, instead of like real-world military. Now, there's a plot point involving the permanence code. Looks like a DNA strand. Now, the code supposedly is needed for 3D printing because the AI military soldiers disintegrate after 29 minutes in the real world, and their weapons disintegrate as well. Now, the permanence code would give them longevity. And although Dillinger Systems wants to 3D print an army, a different corporation, the NCOM Corporation, wants to 3D print a cure for cancer and crops to feed the hungry. The movie stars and is produced by Jared Leto, who plays a military AI named ARES who develops a conscience and wants to live outside the grid. Now, he wants the permanence code for himself and strikes a deal with Eve Kim, the CEO of NCOM, when she becomes trapped in the computer grid by the evil CEO of Dillinger Systems. So, humans and AIs traverse between the real world and the grid in this movie. Now, the fight scenes look kind of cool. Although, as I mentioned, the red lasers make them look like stage performers when they're fighting, not like soldiers, but more like acrobats from Shen Yun. And military AIs wouldn't be wearing red lasers in the real world. It would make them visible and easy to track even at nighttime. Now, this movie takes place mostly at nighttime, I'm convinced, because they wanted to show off the red lasers. Now, Jared Leto is an Oscar-winning actor, and he has loads of charisma here. In Blade Runner 2049, he played a science fiction villain so convincingly, Neander Wallace, who created a better replicant, one that wouldn't rebel and try to escape. Now, his character here, ARES, is like one of those better replicants, created to be obedient and expendable, but he develops a conscience and humanity. Now, Jodie Turner-Smith is a strong presence as Athena, a lethal combatant who, unlike ARES, doesn't develop a conscience. Now, I've watched her in a couple of different roles before, but here, she is really fun to watch. Now, the human characters don't come off so well. They're boring and not believable, mainly because they're written that way. Now, when Gillian Anderson comes off as boring and not believable, we all have to assume that the writers, so-called writers, are uniquely bad at their jobs. Now, Gillian Anderson plays the mother of the evil CEO of Dillinger Systems. She's not given anything to do but scold her son. Literally, those are her only lines of dialogue. For the entire movie, she's made to walk around what looks like a military-style hangar in a skirt and heels, with a hairstyle like an actress from the 1940s. I mean, no thought was given to the design of this movie, it seems. And Greta Lee as Eve Kim is playing the damsel in distress. Yet at one point in the movie, she's thrown off a motorcycle and into a recycling bin in a manner that would kill ordinary humans. Now, her character should not have survived that accident, but it's a movie, and she has a starring role. Now, Greta Lee has the most screen time of any non-AI character in the movie. Now, I don't think she enjoyed doing this action role. She doesn't look like she's enjoying herself. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Now, in contrast, Jared Leto and Jodie Turner-Smith, in my view, enjoyed playing their roles. Now, maybe because they're both serious, critically acclaimed actors, and they don't do this type of role very often. So if they weren't enjoying themselves, I couldn't tell. Now, maybe that's their great acting. So the music in this film was composed by Nine Inch Nails, the rock band. The music is great. It's hard-driving industrial rock that is a lot better than the movie deserves. Now, that's a great movie poster. If only the movie looked like that, with a futuristic city in the background. That is not in the movie. Now, audiences rejected the movie, Tron ARES, in droves. It lost $130 million or thereabouts. The director was obviously just collecting a paycheck. They could have just fired the director and replaced him with a tripod. Okay, so the characters move around, but the frames of this movie are rather static. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.